How far now, Momenta Shrine? Alonzi is here, Chief Priest is here, and you're welcome to today's class. So, today's class is going to be a continuation of the previous class where we spoke about buses. So, for you to understand this class, you need to watch the last video so to be easy for you to catch up on this class. Now, in our previous class, we spoke about buses, we spoke about the concepts of buses, why we use buses, and the types of buses. Now, in this class, I'm going to be showing you practicals of everything we discussed in the last class. Without wasting much time, let's dive into it.
Yeah, so this is the DAW we'll be using within an FL Studio for our practicals today. Now, without further much ado, let's go to our mix channel. Now, this is our mix channel, and I've arranged everything just to save time and the purpose of this class. So, in our last class, we spoke about the core concepts of buses. Now, the core concept of buses is grouping in a way that you group a particular, maybe your drum bus or your instrument bus. It helps you group them and maybe it helps you organize them and you route it. In buses, you must always routing. Routing is involved. Routing is involved. Routing is involved. And any effects I make on any of my buses, it affects the audio file. Remember, we gave an example of people going to one destination. So if the bus on the road spoil, is affecting the 10 people who are inside the bus. So whatever, if the AC is working now in the bus, the AC will affect everybody. If the AC is not working, it will affect everybody. So whatever change you make on the bus affects every other thing. Now, let's go to the types of buses. In the last class, I told you that the master bus is the boss of all the buses. So even if you create 1,000 buses, your boss must still go through the master bus. The master bus is very sovereign. So no matter what you do, whatever bus you create, you must always go to the master bus. It's from the master bus now you get your final audio file. So any bus that was not routed to the master bus, you wouldn't hear it in the final audio file. That's why it's called the mix bus and the master bus. Like, he's the master of all the buses. The name alone is self-explanatory. He's the master of all the buses. Every bus must report back to the master bus. Now, we spoke about subgroup buses. Now, any bus that is not that is not the master bus is a subgroup buses. Is a bus that is an avenue for you to connect to the master bus. That is where your instrument bus comes in, your drum bus comes in, your vocal bus comes in. Those are the types of subgroup buses, because all these buses now always go back to the master bus for you to get your final output. And the other one is the auxiliary bus, the sends. The sends. That is where your delay comes in, your reverb or whatever effect you want to put on it. You have to create an auxiliary send or is an auxiliary bus for it. For example, now this is our reverb and then our delay, and this is our lead vocals. Now, we spoke about the concept of buses, which is routing. Now, I routed this our bus now to an auxiliary bus. This an auxiliary bus. Is not a subgroup bus. Is an auxiliary bus. Why this lead vocal now is mainly routed to the main vocal bus. Then the main vocal bus now goes to the master bus. So your instead of me putting my reverb on my vocal, I created an auxiliary bus and use a send to create another channel, another bus for it. Then I now control how much reverb I want. Auxiliary buses help because it gives you control of how much of the effect you want to put on whatever you want to put. Now, the benefits of using buses is that it keeps your works organized. See now, I have my work organized. I have my vocal bus here. I have my parallel compression. I have my effect bus. I have my drum bus. I have my instrument bus. I know where everything are now. If I want to look for my bass guitar, instead of me going to search here now, I can just click on my instrument bus, come here, click on my instrument bus now, knowing that all these ones are routed to it. Or okay, let's use the drum bus for an example now. This is my drum bus now. And if I want to, let's say now, this is my bass now. I know where to locate my base, and you color it so you know how to, you can navigate the section, and it creates cohesion. If I make an EQ change on the bus, it affects the other files. So I hope with these few points of mine, I've been able to convince you and not confuse you about bus in mixing. Thanks for watching. Bye.